Since 2011, not only has the number and diversity of people interested in the Community Vitality Program grown, but so has the amount the foundation has to give away. Fred Galloway, our former chair of grants, was sharing with me the difference between today and where we're at 5 and 7 years ago, and really the profound change and profound progress that we have made as a community in having a bigger impact. So we're excited to share with you today that this year we've doubled the amount that we intend to give to $1 million. We hope that by increasing our available grant money to local organizations, they will be driven to work together to develop sustainable solutions for our community.
Well, Vital Signs is a national program that's facilitated by our national organization, Community Foundations of Canada, and almost 191 of all the community foundations across the country participate in. So it's something that really unites our movement, and it's something that we all do together to measure the vitality of our community. So basically what it is for us it's a biannual report, so it's something that we do every 2 years. Some foundations put out the report every year, but it basically just measures the vitality of the community. It's sort of like a checkup or a report card that allows us to see how the community is faring in issues such as health and wellness, poverty, leadership, belonging, work, arts and culture, or environment. So it really provides us with a deep understanding of how our community is doing on the ground. It takes an in-depth look at the issues that our community is facing, and it allows us to direct our granting more strategically based on those issues that we identify. So over the past few years, Vital Signs has brought a few issues to our attention that we've been trying to focus on and that are still quite relevant today. And those include employment, specifically with regards to youth unemployment and immigrant unemployment. As we all know, last year our community faced one of the, or actually the highest youth unemployment rate in the country. So that was quite a pressing issue that we hope to make an impact in. And as you'll see a bit later on, one of our community vitality grants from last year actually is trying to tackle that issue, Communities, Career, and Connect. So that's a really exciting initiative that's happening in our community right now. Also, as we know, London is becoming more and more a hub for recent immigrants, and we see their struggle identified in our Vital Signs findings, so that's also an issue that we hope to tackle. Health, another big one, specifically mental health, and even more specific, children's mental health. We've supported various mental health programs over the years. Third, poverty is another big one in our community. With the decline of London's manufacturing industry, which was quite large, we've seen increasing rates of poverty and many individuals in our community who are living in extreme poverty now, and the gap between the rich and poor continues to widen. So that's another issue that we are hoping to tackle. And lastly, food security has recently come to our attention as another pressing issue in the community.
So what we're interested in is in developing innovative ideas. And the innovative ideas we like to think of as being game-changing, leveraging existing or new resources, and having a reasonable accountability strategy and metrics attached to them. And we're going to say a little bit more about each of those to hopefully clarify that. Did I do that, or did you do that? I did that. Okay. The first concept is game changing, which we introduced last year, and it really contains 4 elements in terms of the committee's deliberations. That means that we're looking for proposals that are substantively new to London. Is it unique? Is it innovative? Try to highlight that uniqueness and innovation for us. Does it make a significant change in the current state of affairs? Is it accountable while still being innovative? And does it benefit London by improving or leveraging resources? So the scale for us is less important. to its uniqueness and the impact that it makes. Let's just have a quick look at that in a bit more detail. So what does it mean to be substantively new for London or Middlesex? Well, maybe it's a new approach to an issue for London that we haven't experienced here before. Maybe it's a different way of even thinking about an issue, its causes and impacts in ways that we haven't thought of here in London before. Maybe it's about bringing together different partners in different ways that might have an impact on changing the system or creating new and more impactful collaborations. Some things that you might consider here is this an idea that's been successful in some other jurisdiction that you'd like to transfer, see happening in London? And is it an important innovation over an existing approach? The second element is this business about significantly changing the state of affairs in London. Well, what's that mean? Well, for the Grants Committee, we have a few touchstones. One of the touchstones is, does it take an undesirable trend and turn this trend around? Vanessa was referring to the alarming rates of poverty. I work in the physical activity, healthy eating field. We know those are negative trends. Is this proposal that you're bringing forward to the foundation something that's likely to turn that curve around? Or does it substantively improve the results of current methods that we're using, but it powerfully magnifies those impacts? Maybe it fills an unaddressed role or a gap in London that hasn't been addressed previously, but is an important piece in the whole system that we've just overlooked now. Or maybe, as I mentioned, that it alters the current system and actually makes the system itself more efficient and improves things in that way. So the foundation really wants to fund proposals that really make an impact in London. The third touchstone that the committee looks at is this tricky balance between accountability and innovation. We know that to fund innovative projects, we have to take a few more risks. That means that we're not always going to have all of the answers laid out for us in advance, but we have to balance that as a committee with the expectations of our donors that we're going to be good stewards of those donated funds, and we have to ensure that we're being responsible in terms of, is this a smart risk that we're taking, or is this just a goofy risk? And smart risks, how we start to determine that, it might be around, well, is there a theory of change that backs up this proposal that makes it seem plausible to us? Can you point to some other jurisdiction where this has happened? Can you point to any research that suggests that these approaches are effective? That helps us understand that it's plausible. Then can you help us understand how you would be held accountable as a proposal proponent in terms of, well, what do you think the outcomes are from this proposal in the long term? And maybe equally importantly, since we're never entirely sure whether we're going to get all the outcomes we hope for, that's the nature of innovation and risk, can you at least help us understand how we can hold that proposal accountable along the way? What are some milestones? What are some process indicators? When should we see some results? Those things are very helpful in helping us understand whether we can balance this desire for risk and innovation tempered by accountability. And finally, you can help us by demonstrating your capacity to actually achieve the idea. It's one thing to have this fabulous idea, But sometimes around the committee table we say, is this the right collection of resources, people, expertise, knowledge, experience that can actually make this happen? Very important to us. So what can you do to help us understand that more? Well, if you come to us with a partnership, think about what the key elements, expertise, resources might be that would make us think that you've got a good shot of making this happen. Tell us that if you've got a collaboration, it's a real collaboration. And it's not you got some signatures on the page, but that people who have signed on to your project actually understand what you're trying to do and are excited about trying to help you do it. That's very important to us. So in the end, we're looking at you to help us understand the proposal's capacity, the competence of the people putting the idea forward, and finally, the commitment to making change happen. Those are proposals that really excite us. The fourth and important kind of touchstone in our deliberations is around whether or not the proposal has a great chance of improving or leveraging resources. The foundation is interested in making its contributions magnify opportunities in the city. We're really excited if you can demonstrate that our funding helps access other funding, maybe from other foundations, maybe from private enterprise, maybe it's just from the collaboration of other organizations and folks you put together that can bring some in-kind resources to the table. But please never expect to come forward and say, we have this great idea, but the foundation we expect to foot the bill 100%, because it's an unlikely scenario. So collaborations can help do that, attracting new contributions and demonstrating that it's not just, oh, I think that so-and-so might be interested in this, or we will apply to another grant foundation, but bring us some tangible evidence that you're in active dialogue with those people or things are moving forward. That's what will really grab our attention, I think. Maybe an improved or leveraging situation could also be demonstrating more efficient use of current resources. I should mention that. And above all, we want to see that the proposals will magnify or leverage our foundation resources.